All right, can I have your attention? We'll continue our media availability with Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 M&M's Halloween Toyota. Kyle, just want to start off talking about the weekend short track Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, obviously coming to Martinsville is always not lately, but it has been a challenging time for us in the past. But, we're getting a little bit better at it, kind of picking up on it each and every time. So looking forward to being able to do some more of that here this weekend and continuing our strong runs that we've had here recently. So, excited to be here at Martinsville and to continue on through the end of the year, through the chase here, and see if we can't continue to gain as many points as possible.
All right, we'll open up with questions, starting with Monty Dutton.
Monty Dutton, yes, is it? Kyle, for 19 years I've been asking this question at Martinsville. Martinsville seems to be the most difficult track for people to adapt to when they get the Cup. And yet, it is the track that's most similar to the type of track that many people, at least in stock car racing, cut their teeth running. And so it's always been a mystery to me how it's so hard for most people to get the knack of racing at Martinsville. So I just wonder what your thoughts on that are.
Well, I mean, you say it's similar probably just because of the size of it being a half mile, but Martinsville is not like any other racetrack that I've ever grown up racing on, not even close. Denny Hamlin would probably be able to assess your statement a little closer because he grew up at Southside. Southside's a lot closer to this place, although it's a quarter mile, it's flat. It's like racing in a parking lot, So for me, I've raced at 3/8 mile, half mile, 3/4 mile racetracks all across the West, and they were banked, they were flat, but nothing that was so inducive to heavy braking and all that kinds of stuff. So it's certainly a challenge to figure out how to get around here, and it makes it tough on you because the guys that are good here have run here for that many years. So there's always the transition period of younger guys coming in here having to spend their time and cut their teeth and learn what it takes to run around this place. So, you've got the Harry Gants of the world or the Pearsons of the world that are here, and then you've got the Earnhardts that come in that take a little while to get better at it, and then, then they're really good at the place, and you've got the Jeff Gordons that take a little time to get used to it, and then they're really good here, and so it just kind of goes in cycles like that.
Claire?
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Jeff Burton said that this is the track that is the hardest not to get mad at of all the tracks, that, to keep your temper down while you're inside the cars, especially if you don't have a good car and people are banging and passing you. Do you find it so, and have you had to learn, not to react to the challenges of getting so angry here?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's I'd agree with him 100%. It's certainly a racetrack that you could be leading the race and think you've got a shot to win the thing in the last 30 laps and getting beat on from behind and get moved out of the way. And we did that. So, it's certainly a racetrack that's indicative that if you're just a little bit off, those guys are going to be right on your rear bumper and trying to get by you. So, for us, it's been a challenge, but yet, we're getting better at it and learning some more as we go along, and would like to be able to continue that here this weekend.
Anyone else for Kyle? Reed?
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Kyle, you've been at this full-time Cup racing. I think this is your 7th year. Won over 100 events across all 3 series. Do you still feel like your best years are still ahead of you?
I don't know. I'd certainly like to think so. Obviously, without winning a championship yet, we've still got to be able to do that. So it's certainly going to be harder to do on your downswing than it would be on your upswing. So, for myself and what I've got ahead of me in the sport is hopefully a long time to come. And being here 7 years, I'm not sure that I'm on a downslope yet. Hopefully, I'm still on the upslope. And figuring out that championships are still on the horizon.
Jay?
Jay Pennell with SB Nation. Denny was in here earlier talking about, the issues that you guys have at the team, or he sees at the team, are long-term issues with the way the cars are built. Obviously you haven't had the frustrating season that he has, but do you see some of those issues as well as with the way your cars are being built, and how can you help to address that?
I don't see those issues. I don't see the same issues. Denny sometimes feels things in the car that I don't feel, or if I do feel, I drive through them. I talk around the garage area to other drivers, and they're talking about the same things. So it's not just indicative to the JGR cars; it's across the whole board with what these cars are and how these cars have been designed. It doesn't have anything to do with how we weld them together or build them ourselves at Joe Gibbs Racing. So I think our guys do an awesome job. Everybody at the shop, they continue to work on development and pieces and making our cars better and giving us the opportunity to win races. And what's been awesome is that Joe Gibbs Racing has won. Since the new car of tomorrow has been introduced in 2007, I think it was. I think we're either. I think we're second on the list of wins to only Hendrick Motorsports. So, and we're neck and neck. We might be 2 apart or something like that. So it's not that much different.
How do you balance what you want in the car and what he wants in the car? I mean, is that, I guess, if he wants, if he thinks the cars need to be rebuilt one way, I mean, is that just you guys take your teams and do the separate deals, or is that something that you have to manage throughout the entire organization?
It's certainly difficult to have to manage throughout the organization if one driver wants something and one driver wants something else. Certainly we can't build 3 different chassis for 3 different teams, 3 different drivers. They need to be the same across the board. So it's just a matter of what you do with those chassis. I mean, I've worked with. I had the same feeling that Denny had years ago when I was racing late models. I thought that our late models weren't the best chassis. And I was looking at other chassis builders, and then you get a few more people involved and a few more smarter people involved and get them introduced to that car and get them working on it, and now all of a sudden we haven't lost a race all year in late models. So it's not a matter of chassis. I think it's a matter of what you do with it, how you bolt it together, what pieces you use, and all that kinds of stuff. So I think Dave Rogers and I have really become accustomed to each other and know what we want inside our race cars that makes us go faster and run better. But there's still a lot for us to gain on too. We're not the best by no means, for sure, but there's nobody out there that is currently dominating this thing either. So it's just, you just got to take it in stride and take what you can get and get what you can out of the race cars each and every week.
Mike Muller and MikeMuller.net. Daytona is right around the corner. We just ran Talladega. I'm sure the rules are going to change before we get down there. What would you like to see? What would you expect to see? And I get the feeling that NASCAR is not going to nickel and dime you guys. It's going to make a home run on whatever rules changes they make. What do you expect?
I don't know. Certainly we've got a new car that's coming in 13, so it's not worth our while to go out and make huge changes and big expenses to a car that's going to be obsolete in 1 more year. That makes absolutely no sense to any of us. So I hope they're smart about it, and if anything, we'll run 1 more year the way this is, and we'll see what the new car has in store for us in 13. But it's definitely not something that we're all looking forward to in spending more money for 4 races next year.
Anything else for Kyle? Oh, 2 more.
Kyle, Bruce Hedrick, WMDV, WGSR, Star News. You're 40 points down with 4 races to go. Not theoretically out of it, but in your opinion, what's an elimination point right now at the 4-race part? How many points would it take for you to be out of the game?
To be honest, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Obviously we're in a lot more challenging position than we'd like to be in. If we would have finished in the top 10 at Talladega, we would certainly be right in the thick of things. Probably. I don't know, probably 10, 15 points out. That would make our lives a heck of a lot easier in these final 4 races, only having to pick up, 3 points per race or so. But, now we've got to pick up 10 points per race, so that's obviously a big challenge. But it's just to the point where anything can happen. You just got to play it lap by lap, race by race, and let it come down to the end of the year and see where you're at. If you score the most points, you win. If you don't, there's another year out the books.
Hey, Kyle. Todd Anderson, ESPN. I know this is a little off topic. Who you got winning the World Series tonight? Cardinals, Rangers?
I have not paid attention one bit, so I don't know. But, being 16th cousin of the Busch family owning the company, it'd be certainly nice to see them win the World Series in Busch Gardens. Busch Stadium, I guess. Busch Gardens Stadium. Field. What'd Jeff Gordon say? Wrigley Stadium? That was funny.
Any other questions for Kyle? All right. Thanks a lot, Kyle.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Good.